Hello, Beez Bladers. Welcome back and welcome newcomers to the channel. I have 3 exciting knives to show you from one new company to the channel, and we're going to get right in it. First, I have to say thank you to my channel members, thank you subscribers, and thank you patrons. You all are freaking amazing, and this one I'm flipping is what got me into modern pocket knives. This is the Spyderco Tenacious, and of course, I'll have links to everything you see in this video down in the description. Now, this is the Grambeau Russ. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. So I was contacted by Grambeau Knives and asked if I wanted to check them out. And I was like, yeah, because we do everything from budget up to the nicer stuff. Now, the last video that you guys saw, you gals saw from the channel was some budget knives. So this one, we're going to show a little nicer ones, show you guys some options. And these are 3 knives that you will definitely want to check out. Look at that. Nice and smooth. This is titanium. Ooh, mama. And check these out. I don't think I've ever seen the screws. Would you even call that a pocket screw? Standoffs and the pivot. Look at that. You can see through it. What kind of fanciness is this? But just going all the way around and showing you the Russ. And this is titanium. And this is something that's really cool about it. It has this insert. So you can use this left-handed and you're not going to hit the lock bar, which I find very interesting. I really appreciate that. And this pocket clip, which works very well. I've carried these for about a week or so. This pocket clip works very well. And look at that. It has a flat section underneath the pocket clip. I really appreciate that because I do a good job of tearing my pockets up. I tell you what. But look at this. Nice and sturdy. But that right there is one of the things that really caught my eye, as if it's not a beautiful knife already, is the fact that this isn't going to tear up my pocket clip. And there are going to be a couple changes that I'll tell you about. This diamond pattern is going to be a little bigger, and these are available for pre-order, and they're going to be out in July of 2022. So they're coming out really quick. And then another thing is this Grambeau. Would you see the name right there? That isn't going to be right there. It's going to be on one side of the pivot or the other, and this notch is no longer going to be there. So those notches won't be there. It is going to be a very clean looking knife. All right, you want to see this blade? Let's check it out. No flipper. Seems like almost every knife I get is a flipper. This is a front flipper or thumb studs. Let's use the thumb stud. Ready? Pow, right in the kisser. Would you look at it? Just look at it. Wow, it is so clean. Very, very clean design. And here's your jimping up here. It has the bigger jimping. I'm more privy to the I like the smaller jimping. We'll get into that here in just a second when I talk about the ergos. But I really like this blade shape. Has a really attractive swedge up here. Nothing sharp up on the end where it's not supposed to be sharp. It has a pretty strong tip on it. It's heavy duty. The lockup is fantastic. This one has gone through some some other channels. So you can go check out, I think Stasa 23 has shown this knife, and Neve's Knives has also shown it. This one and the 2 that are coming up here in just a second. But just giving you a good look at the profile of this knife. It is fantastic. And there's your lockup, about, let's say 55%. It's very smooth. The pass-through, it's very comfortable. Something that I appreciate is when you already know, if you're part of the Beez Blades channel and the Beez Blades Live at the Hive group, you already know that I appreciate when I don't have to dig my finger in there and there's no digging involved. It's just using the side of my thumb and it's nice and smooth. And it does have an over travel stop on the inside right there, and it has a steel lock bar insert right there. So if you ever have any troubles, that's something that can be replaced, and that's going to make it nice and smooth. You're not going to get any blade stick. I really appreciate that. And then here, taking a look on the inside, you can see it's milled out very well for weight reduction on both sides. Yeah. And big old stop pin we got going on there. We have going on there for the Grammar Police. And let me show you the specs real quick. As always, you know I get my own specs. And some of these are going to change on one of the other versions. But you can see what our weight is there. It's a drop point blade. This is Bowler M390, baby. All right. And then I have your inches and centimeters for your viewing pleasure. and it has thumb studs, and I didn't put front flipper, but it has a front flipper that's usable. And let's do some quick size comparisons. Here's the Spyderco Para 3 and the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. This gives you a good idea if you have one of these of the size of this knife. And this one, by the way, is going to go for around $280 US. If you go to the site and it says 300 something, that's Australian dollars. Make sure you switch it to US. Here's the CJRB Feldspar and the Civivi Brazen. It's a great size, nice. It's a nice knife. It has a full size handle, has a really good grip. I'll show you the ergos here in just a second. Here's the Kubi Momentum and then the KIZER Gemini, one of my favorites, and they're all my freaking favorites. Here's the Petrified Fish Zero, and you all know what this is. If you watch the channel, you know what this is. The QSP Penguin. You have to have a penguin of some sort, right? So how's the action on this bad boy been? It's really good. I gotta say, it's super smooth, and listen to this snap. Man, it comes out with authority. Pow, right in the kisser. Pow, right in the kisser. And then the drop, once you get past the break, it's pretty darn smooth. You get past there and just a little bit of gravity action. It is very nice. Now, I can't reverse flick it, but I have opened it quite a few times just using my index finger. I'll just go like this and open it that way. And left-handed, I can open it just as fine. Now, one thing I did notice, there is a little more room on this side underneath the thumb stud than there is on this side. But the thumb studs come out just enough, and they're smooth, they're not sharp, they don't rip your fingers or anything, but they give you a good purchase with the end of your thumb. Snap, I mean, it comes flying out. Very smooth. I mean, you know you have a primo knife when you have this one in your hand. It is easy to fidget with if you like to fidget, and it feels super solid. You would swear you have a fixed blade in your hand. It is so incredibly solid. Now, here's my ergos. My hand from here to here is 4 inches, from here to here is 3.5, and from the bottom of my palm to the tip of my middle finger is 7.25. And how does it feel? Ooh, yeah. It feels pretty good. It feels really good. There's me giving the bees squeeze, and the pocket clip doesn't bother me or anything like that. And the traditional grip like this, it's very nice. Like I said before, these jimps are a little bigger than I prefer. I like that. You guys already know, but it's not bad. It's not shabby. It's a good cutter, good slicer. I haven't done any heavy duty cutting or slicing because this is not my knife. So I'm not cutting down trees with it or anything, but it is comfortable. You can, excuse me, right up here you can see is for sharpening, you do have some room before you get to the plunge grind. You are going to get a little bit of smile, but you do have plenty of room for doing your sharpening. And I kind of like how it's flat. I like it when they're flat. So if I want to choke up, I can get up in here, get up a lot closer. And when I do that, my fingers fall in between here. And then this kind of locks those 3 fingers into place. And then my pinky comes up above this point right here. So that is very comfortable. If you want to really get in there, do some whittling or make a sharp stick or something like that. But I have to say, it's comfortable. I've enjoyed it. It's very smooth. You can tell you have a premium knife in your hand. Now, as far as hardware, this right here is a T6, and those are T6. As far as I know, these are going to be replaced with T8. So you're going to have T8s, and then these big boys, and I believe that's a big hex. If you look in there, it's a big hex head, which I don't see very often, and that gives it such a nice, clean look. You have the stone-washed titanium. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the whole knife altogether. It has a very nice, very clean look. So that's the Grambeau Rus. In typical fashion, I'm trying to rush things. I forgot to show you the front flipper part. Now, I can front flip it. It's not the most comfortable front flip in the world because this jipping is kind of aggressive. If the jipping went all the way around and had the smaller jipping, it might be my preferred method. But just with that, I prefer to use the thumb stud with this one. It's a lot snappier, and I prefer that a lot more. That would be the only, I would say, nitpick would be the aggressive jimping for the front flip part. If I did that 50 times, my skin would definitely know it. But other than that, I don't really have any gripes. So now we'll get to the next ones. These are the Grambeau Assetto. And now check this out. Oh, yeah. Now that's my speed. I'm telling you what. Would you look at it? Just look at it. Look at that micarta. Giving you some texture vision. Oh, by the way, if you wanted some texture vision of that diamond on the other side, there's the texture vision. You know, I always have to show you the texture, and it does have good texture. But back to our regularly scheduled knife. Here's a look at this side of the Assetto. These are going to be T8s. This is T6s because this is a prototype. And here's the top side. It's nice and smooth. There's no sharp edges where they shouldn't be. You have a titanium backspacer. And then you have a post for a lanyard back there, which is really nice. I like it when they don't put a hole through the knife. It's nice and clean. This thing is super, super slicey. It's a bolster lock, and it has a lock bar insert. And then there's your Grambeau. I believe this is going to remain on this one, on the Assetto. And what you have here is two different versions. You have the micarta version, and it's a bolster lock. And then this one is a frame lock. And I'll show you both of them here in just a second. The pocket clip on this one is very sturdy, but it works very well. I appreciate that. You want to see this blade? Check this out. The over the top, pow, right in the kisser. Yeah, look at the tip. Ooh, mama. This thing is slicey and very pointy. It's not one that you're going to do any, prying with, but look at this. Look at that tip. This is, I feel gentlemanly when I have this knife. Like, it is so smooth. I love the action. And look how thin this blade is. Here's your stats real quick. It's super lightweight, very lightweight in the pocket. And I like slicers. My favorite knives are slicer knives. And this one is a slicer. I'm telling you what. There you go. Bolster lock, frame lock. It has, all of these have ceramic ball bearings and a pivot. And this, by the way, oh yeah, you guessed it. It's a hollow grind. And the other one, the first one, the rust, is going to be a hollow grind also. But wow, I've got a couple hollow grinds here lately, and man, do I enjoy how slicey they are. Oh my goodness. This one, it is so comfortable in the hand. I love that ramp right there. You guys know the size of my hand as far as ergos. Look at that. It just fits so well. You would think this is a fancy slip joint, but it's not, obviously. Your lockup's really good at about, I'd say what, 40%, 45%. Super easy. And check this out. This, I was like, oh, it's not going to have a good pass-through, but it does have a good pass-through. They have he put a little bump right there, which makes it to my favorite. The side of my thumb grabs it so easy. Oh my goodness, it is so easy to operate. Now, to give you an idea, here is the front flipper on the titanium version. And would you look at it? I know a lot of folks like frame locks over liner locks. Well, there's your frame lock. And here's the frame lock version. There's your lockup. There's your centering. And here's the centering on this one with the micarta. You know, I love me some micarta. But this one has if you like the total titanium look, and I know there's a lot of folks that collect the titanium knives. Well, there you go. You're going to have complete titanium. And no, we're not coming out the tip. I really like this big swedge. I mean, I'm not super big on clip points. It's not my favorites. But this one, I really, really enjoy. And it's not upswept too much. If it's upswept too much, I tend to not enjoy it as much. But this one has turned out really good for opening packages. I really, really like this point. It's a great EDC size knife. This one only weighs 3 ounces, and he is going to make it even thinner than it is already. I'll show you what it looks like width-wise with the QSP Penguin. So I'm guessing if he makes it thinner, it's going to be closer to the width of the titanium Penguin. Now, getting all nice and up and close and personal, you can see this satin, it's satin up here on the flat. Whoa! Satin on the flat, and then really nice stone wash. Oh my goodness, I love feeling that hollow grind. That is awesome. And then going all the way down, give you some of that texture vision. This is very nice micarta. You guys know how I am about micarta. It doesn't have super amount of texture, but it has a good tactile feel, which I do appreciate. Those are going to be T8, so you're not going to have to worry about that. Very, very nice. And then on the inside of this one, it's also milled out. You can see it's very well milled. It's nice and lightweight. The titanium version, I think this one weighs around 3.6, something like that. This one's a little bit heavier. So if you like a more solid feel, the titanium's going to be good for you. Let's do some quick size comparisons. Here's the QSP Penguin and the Spyderco Para 3. Love my Para 3. It's a great size. And you can see you have just about the same amount of handle length going on. There's no choil to be heard of, to be said, but you do have some sharpening before you get to the plunge grind. But you're going to get a smile once you get up to there. But you have a few sharpenings of taking off steel before you get to that point. Here's a couple more. There's your Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and the KIZER Assassin. It's definitely on the smaller side. The Paramilitary 2 has a big long handle for large hands. This one, I'll show you the ergos. It fits my hand very well, very comfortably. Here's a couple sin cuts for you. Here's the sin cut Tynan and the sin cut Netches. And last but not least, here's a couple popular ones in case you have one of these. The Spyderco Tenacious and the Civivi Backlash. The deployment, this one is definitely my favorite. It is so snappy. It's easy to do over the top, and it's also easy to do with your index finger. You guys already know I like to open knives that way when I can, so I really appreciate that. It's super smooth, and once you break it, it has a very light, what do you call that thing? It has a very light blade, so it's not drop shutty, but it is incredibly smooth, and it's easy to front flip. You see there how easy it was? There you go. Looking through a camera and front flipping. It is an easy front flip, I do have to say. Now here's this one. Here's the titanium. The titanium, just as snappy, very snappy. It's not drop shutty. You have to give it a little bit of gravity action. Yeah, you have to give it a little bit of help. Now I can't. Yes, I can. I can over the top with this one with my left hand, but with my right hand I can't because my finger's pressing down on the lock bar. So left-handed I can go over the top, or I can, what do you call that? Front flip it. Words are hard. I'm excited because tonight is Live at the Hive for me. And if you haven't been to the live stream on Friday nights from 8:15 to 11:15 p.m., Beez Blades Live at the Hive. Oh, right. Definitely come and join us. I'm going to put all three of them out here. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but I do have to say I enjoy them. I like all three of them. I like the looks of them. Let me get the other one. But here you have the Grambeau Russ. And then the Assetto. Look how clean. I know a lot of you love the titanium. And you know I love the micarta. Well, I love me some titanium too. This gives you the best of both worlds. I really like the looks of this one. I like the looks of this one too. But if I had to pick, I would definitely myself. This is just my personal preference. I definitely love the Assetto with the micarta. But I'm curious, what do you guys think about them? Are you interested? They're all the same price. They run about $280 US, and they're from Australia, which is very cool, from our friends down under. But let me know what you think. And if you don't have an opinion about the knife or it's out of your price range, then tell me what you had for breakfast. Tell me how your day's going. Just say hello to everybody in the hive. But until I talk to you again, or I see you on the live stream, remember, live life in the present, keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself.